Students, in the previous video lecture, we have derived equations for maximum height, range, time of flight. We will be using those equations and we will derive the relations between maximum height, time of flight and acceleration due to gravity in one. And next you need to prove this h by r is equal to tan theta by 4. And next you need to show that r by t square is equal to g by 2 tan theta. These equations you need to remember for solving problems. These are relations between h, t and r. Now let me take first one. Left hand side, it is h divided by t square. What is h? U square sine square theta divided by 2g by t is time of flight. Time of flight is 2u sine theta by g, and this is whole square. Now g square gets cancelled. Here in denominator it is g square. I'm sorry, don't cancel this. Let it be. H by t square is equal to u square, and u square gets cancelled. Sine square theta and sine square theta gets cancelled. What is left over here? 1 divided by 2g by 4 divided by g square. This g and g gets cancelled. Finally this can be written as g goes to numerator divided by 4 to 8. Therefore h by t square is equal to g by 8. This is first relation. Now coming to the second one. Coming to second one, we have p. It is h by r. Take left hand side. H divided by r. Now what is h? H is maximum height, u square sine square theta divided by 2g divided by, what is r? R is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. U square gets cancelled. This g and g gets cancelled. What is left over in the remaining part? It is sine square theta divided by 2 by sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta into cos theta. This sine theta and this sine theta gets cancelled. Sine theta by cos theta is tan theta divided by 2 into 2 is 4, tan theta by 4. Therefore you can write h divided by r is equal to tan theta divided by 4, or you can write tan theta is equal to 4h divided by r. So if at all theta is equal to 45 degrees. If theta is 45 degrees, what is tan 45? Tan 45 will be 1. Therefore I can write 1 is equal to 4h by r. This is r is equal to 4h. Therefore you can write r maximum. Theta is 45, then in such case range is maximum. R maximum is equal to 4 times h maximum. Clear? So that is the relation between maximum height traveled by the projectile and maximum range. So simply you can write R maximum is equal to 4h, where h is the maximum height reached by the projectile for an angle 45 degrees. That is equation number 2. Next, coming to the third one, it is r divided by t square. You can take left hand side. r divided by t square is equal to, what is r? R is range. It is u square sine 2 theta divided by g by t is time of flight. Time of flight is 2u sine theta divided by g whole square. Okay. This is u square and this u square gets cancelled. What is left over here? R divided by t square is equal to, sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta into cos theta, and this g gets cancelled, divided by 2 into sine square theta, 2 into sine square theta into what is left over here? G is left over here. In the numerator g gets cancelled and denominator this is g square, right? So that g is left over. Sine theta and sine theta gets cancelled, and 2 square this become 4. This 2 2's 4. Finally you can write g goes to numerator, g divided by cos theta by sin theta is tan theta. Therefore r divided by t square is equal to g divided by tan theta. Or you can even write tan theta is equal to g t square divided by r. Okay, so tan theta is equal to gt square by r, which we have derived, and the other one we have got tan theta is equal to 4h divided by r. You can equate this, number 1 and number 2. You can equate these two and you can write 4h by r is equal to g t square divided by r. This r and r gets cancelled, so you can write h is equal to gt square divided by 4. This is one more equation, relation between maximum height and time of flight. H is equal to g t square divided by 4. These are the relations you need to remember in between maximum height traveled by the projectile, range and time of flight. Yes, students, we have already seen that complementary angles. Complementary mean theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal to 90 degrees. So if two angles are complementary, it means that sum of those two angles should be equal to 90. You can write theta 1 is equal to 90 minus theta 2, or you can write theta 2 is equal to 90 minus theta 1. Okay, and I already told you if the angles are complementary, then in such cases r1 is equal to r2 is equal to r. They travel equal range. We already discussed that. So two bodies, if their angles are complementary, then they travel same range, that we have discussed in the previous video lecture. If you want, you can watch it again. Now r1 r2 is equal to r. We will be using this concept in order to solve this. So let me take first one. If t1 and t2 are time of flight, then find out the ratio of t1 and t2. First I should solve this one. T1 divided by t2 is equal to how much? What is t1? T1 is equal to time of flight for the first body. T2 is time of flight for the second body. What is time of flight for the first one? T1 can be written as 2u sine theta 1 divided by g by 2u sine theta 2 divided by g, because t1 and t2 only angle is differed. For the first one it is theta 1, for the second one it will be theta 2. Theta 2 can be written as 90 minus theta 1. This g and g gets cancelled. 2u gets cancelled. What is left over there? It is sine theta 1 divided by sine of 90 minus theta 1. Okay, therefore T1 divided by T2 is equal to sine theta 1 divided by cos theta 1, which is equal to tan theta 1. That is a relation for time of flight of two projectiles if they are traveling same range. Now coming to number 2. We need to find out the product of the times. Product of the time is T1, T2. T1, T2 can be written as 2u sine theta 1 divided by g into 2u sine of 90 minus theta 1 divided by g. Okay, so you can write T1 T2 is equal to 2 into 2 4 u square into sine theta 1, sine 90 minus theta 1 is cos, that gives you sine theta 1 into cos theta 1 divided by g square. So T1 T2 is equal to 2 u square divided by g into 2 sine theta 1 into cos theta 1 divided by g. What is this total? This total is range R. So T1 into T2 is equal to this u square is also been written here inside. So what is left over there? It become 2R divided by g. Right? From this T1 T2 is directly proportional to range R. This is mathematical equation which is product of the time of flight. Product of time of flights of two projectiles is directly proportional to range, and sum ratio of time of flight of two bodies is equal to tan theta. See, we have already known what are H1 and H2. H1 and H2 values we have written here. We will be substituting that in this first question. So H1 by H2 is equal to tan square theta. We need to prove that. H1 divided by H2 is equal to u square sine square theta 1 divided by 2g by u square cos square theta 1 divided by 2g. 2g gets cancelled, u square gets cancelled. Sine square theta 1 by cos square theta 1, that is tan square theta 1. Okay, so h1 by h2 is equal to tan square theta 1. That is number 1. Next, number 2, you need to take sum of the heights h1 plus h2. h1 plus h2, what is h1? h1 is u square sine square theta 1 divided by 2g plus u square by 2g into cos square theta 1. I can take u square by 2g common. h1 plus h2 is equal to u square by 2g. If I take it common, what is left over there? Sine square theta 1 plus cos square theta 1, that will be equal to 1. So h1 plus h2 is equal to u square by 2g. That is number 2. Now come to number 3. What is number 3? Number 3, we have r is equal to 4 under root h1 h2. I'll just bring this 4 to the other side. R by 4 is equal to root h1 h2. So I'll first take right hand side and I will show that it is equal to left hand side. Okay, so we know we will be taking this as h1 h2 is equal to r by 4. I need to prove this. So in order to prove this, I'll take under root h1 h2 under root h1 into h2. Okay, this is under root. What is h1? U square sine square theta 1 divided by 2g into u square cos square theta 1 divided by 2g. Okay, so u square by 2g is is whole square, that I can bring it out. So finally you can write this as u square divided by 2g. I am writing it out of the root, and finally we are left with only sine square theta 1 into cos square theta 1. So what I'll do, I'll multiply numerator and denominator with 4. For mathematical simplification, I'll multiply numerator and denominator with 4. So you can write it as u square divided by under root 4, that I am bringing it out so that it become 2. 2 into 2 is 4, 4g under root. What is left over here? 2 sine theta 1 into cos theta 1 whole square. Okay, 2 square is 4. Sine square theta 1 cos square theta 1. What is 2 sine theta 1 cos theta 1? That is sine 2 theta 1 whole square. This square and root gets cancelled. What is left over? U square into sine 2 theta 1 divided by 4g is equal to under root h1 h2. What is u square sine 2 theta by g? That is equal to r. Therefore, under root h1 h2 is equal to r by 4. h2 is equal to r divided by 4. This is the proof for the given expression. The fourth one, we need to show r maximum is equal to 2 into h1 plus h2. Okay, this you can write it as r maximum by 2 is equal to h1 plus h2. Okay, now already we have learned h1 plus h2 is equal to, we have already proved it, it is h1 by h2 is equal to u square by 2g, right? h1 by h2 is u square by 2g. We have already proved that. So let me take this as equation number 1. Let me take this as equation number 2. So h1 plus h2 is equal to u square by 2g. Now let us take r maximum. What is r maximum? It is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. R is maximum for theta is equal to 45 degrees. Take this theta is equal to 45. What you will get here? It becomes sine 90. Sine 90 will be equal to 1. How do you write for r maximum? R maximum is equal to u square divided by g. Okay. Now from equation 2, this is equation 2. h1 plus h2 is equal to, what is u square by g? U square by g is equal to r maximum by what is left over there, remained is 2. So h1 plus h2 is equal to r maximum by 2. See, we have we need to now find out the relation for two projectiles which are projected such that from one projectile you are observing the other. Then what is their relation? That's what we will now find out. See, if at all here is a projectile and this projectile is being projected with an angle theta 1 and its angle of projection is this. It is making some initial velocity u. It is projected with angle theta 1. If a person who is standing on the ground, if this person observe the projectile, for him with respect to this person, path is parabola. Therefore, if a person who is standing on the ground and observe the projectile motion, path of the projectile is ax minus bx square, which shows that it is a parabola. That is, if a person is on the ground. If at all, if person is not on the ground, you have two projectiles like this. you have two projectiles. One projectile is projected with some angle of projection, and this projection angle, let me take it as theta 1. Okay, and there is another projectile, and that projectile is being projected with some other angle. Let me consider its angle of projection as theta 2. So you have two projectiles. First one is being thrown with velocity u1. Second one is being thrown with initial velocity u2. Angles of projection are also different. Now a person is on this projectile path. Okay, so a person who is on the second projectile is observing the projectile motion. First, this is first one and this is second one. So that is person sitting on second projectile is observing first projectile. Okay, now this is relative motion, because person, the observer who is observing the projectile, person is moving, and as well as the projectile body is also moving. Therefore, here we need to consider relative motion between the observer and projectile. Okay, now let me explain clearly. Say for example, you are taking initially both points at this which are marked with red ink. Initially first projectile is here and second projectile is here. Let me name this as A and this as A dash. After some instant of time, first projectile go to this point, let me name it as B. Second projectile come to this point, let me name it as B dash. Okay, after time of ascent, first projectile goes to this position C, second projectile goes to this position C dash. Next, after some time, first projectile goes to some position D, second projectile goes to new position D dash, and last case it is E and this is E dash. Okay, now at different instants of time you are observing the projectile from the first reference. So first the reference it is A dash, second reference is B dash, third reference is C dash, fourth reference is D dash, and fifth reference is E dash. If you are observing, like, as the first projectile is in motion, second projectile is also relatively displacing with respect to first one. That is the reason why at any point if you observe the first projectile from the second, it is appeared to be as a straight line. Is it not? See this, it is a straight line, it is a straight line, it is a straight line. These all are straight lines. So when the first projectile is coming to position B, second one is not at A dash, second one is also coming at B dash. Therefore, for the second projectile, first projectile appears to be traveling in the form of a straight line. Therefore, when the two bodies are in relative motion, you need to clearly understand that path of projectile as seen from other projectile is a straight line. Very important concept. It is appeared to be as a straight line. So in the first case, person is on the ground, he is not moving anywhere. Therefore, only one projectile we have, that projectile is observed from the ground, therefore its path appeared to be parabola. Whereas in the second case, both are in motion, both are taking the parabolic path. As a result, From one parabolic path, if you observe the second parabolic path, it appears to be as a straight line. And this straight line can be vertical straight line, or this straight line can be horizontal straight line. So it can be vertical straight line and it can be horizontal straight line. That depends on initial vertical components and initial horizontal components of the projectiles. Okay, so it can be vertical straight line or it can be horizontal straight line. That depends on the initial vector components of the two projectiles. So let me show how it is. Now we have two projectiles. First projectile initial velocity is u1. So therefore, for first projectile, for body 1, what is distance traveled x1? Along x-axis it is traveling a distance of u1 cos theta 1 into time taken t. Next, what about y1? Distance traveled along y-axis is u1 sin theta 1 into t minus half g t square. That is for first body. For body 2, for second body, distance traveled along x-axis is x2, which is equal to u2 sin theta 2 into t, and distance traveled along y-axis is y2, that is u2 sin theta. I'm sorry, this is cos. Along x-axis it is horizontal component, this is cos theta 2. It is sin theta 2 into t minus half gt square. Okay, now delta y divided by delta x, if you calculate, it is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. What is y2 by y2 minus y1? Y2 is this and y1 is this. Half gt square in both the terms gets cancelled. What is left over here? u2 sin theta 2 minus u1 sin theta 1 into t divided by x2 minus x1. It is u2 cos theta 2 minus u1 cos theta 1 into t. This t and t gets cancelled. What is this? It is nothing but relative velocity of the x components of the two projectiles. Numerator, see, check it up. u2 sin theta 2, u1 sin theta 1. What is u2 sin theta 2? Horizontal component of the second projectile. And what about this one? Horizontal component of the first projectile. So as we know, UAB is equal to UA minus UB, because this is relative velocity. Relative velocity. So in the same way, here we are getting delta y divided by delta x is depending upon their relative velocities of horizontal components and vertical components. Okay, u2 sin theta 2 minus u1 sin theta 1. These are vertical components of the body. So clearly, now let us discuss these cases. Case 1. If vertical components are equal, V2, that means vertical components are equal. If vertical components are equal, what does it mean? u2 sin theta 1 minus u1 sin theta, u1 sin theta 1 will be equal to 0. Therefore, delta y by delta x is equal to 0. That is, slope is equal to 0. In such case, you will be getting a straight line, which is delta y is equal to 0. You will be getting a horizontal straight line. So that means if initial vertical components of the body are equal, in such case numerator of this becomes 0. So you will be getting a straight line which is horizontal. That is case 1. Now let us see case 2. If horizontal components are equal, if horizontal components are equal, denominator becomes 0. That is u2 cos theta 2 minus u1 cos theta 1 is equal to 0. So therefore delta y by delta x is equal to something divided by 0, right? This is equal to infinity. Something divided by 0 is infinity, so delta y by delta x is tending to be infinity, and infinity you will be getting a straight line which is a vertical. So the delta y is tending to infinity, so you will be getting a vertical straight line. This is what in case 2. So when two projectiles are being projected in such a way, the magnitudes of horizontal components are equal, then in such case it appears to be as a vertical straight line. If the magnitude of vertical components of two projectiles are equal, then in such case path of one projectile seen from the other appears to be horizontal straight line.